Hi everyone, I hope you're all having a wonderful day. Today, we're stepping into the mind of Mai, a woman quietly planning to win back the heart of the man she's always loved, Alex. But everything changes when she sees Alex, Lytuna, and their little son Henry laughing together at the park. A perfect picture of happiness that cuts straight through her heart. From that moment, love turns into a plan, and every move becomes a step toward reclaiming what she believes was once hers. Stay with us, because this story will reveal how far Mai is willing to go for the love she can't let go of. And if you enjoy stories like this, don't forget to hit subscribe so you won't miss the next episode. The dim yellow light spills across Mai's face, catching the glint in her eyes, a mix of longing and determination. She sits before the mirror, brushing her hair slowly, as if rehearsing a confession meant only for herself. "Alex," she whispers, almost like a spell. "He's everything I've ever wanted. Smart, charming, successful. The kind of man women dream of but rarely meet." She pauses for a brief second, her breath steadying as ambition overtakes hesitation. Then, tightening her jaw, she leans closer to the mirror. "I can't stay like this forever. I won't. I'll have him, no matter what it takes." The clock on the wall ticks steadily, each second a drumbeat of her growing desire. Mai's reflection shifts. The timid girl she once was dissolves, replaced by a woman cloaked in resolve. Her lips curl into a faint smile, not warm but cold, deliberate and purposeful. She can already picture it, a life beside Alex, filled with luxury and ease, far from the uncertainty that's haunted her for years. But deep inside, a small voice stirs, a whisper of doubt, a flicker of fear. "Is this really what you want?" Mai quickly shuts it down. "No turning back," she mutters. "Alex is mine." The air feels heavier now, charged with her determination. The room, once silent and still, seems to hum with the pulse of her ambition. The mirror behind her reflects not a dreamer, but a hunter ready to begin her pursuit. Morning sunlight glimmers across the lake, turning the surface into liquid gold. Alex and Lytuna walk side by side, pushing a stroller where baby Henry sleeps soundly. Their laughter blends with the rustle of the breeze and the gentle splash of water on the shore. Alex reaches out, brushing a strand of hair from Lytuna's face. His touch is soft, his eyes tender. "You know," he says, smiling, "Henry's already got your laugh. Poor kid doesn't stand a chance. He'll charm everyone." Lytuna laughs, the sound light and genuine. "Then he's lucky. You'll teach him how to handle it." Their hands intertwine naturally, their steps in perfect rhythm. The scene feels almost unreal, too peaceful, too perfect. Even the sun seems to shine just for them. They pause by a bench, and Alex bends down to adjust Henry's blanket. His movements are careful, his smile gentle as he watches his son's tiny chest rise and fall. Lytuna gazes at him, her heart full. In that moment, nothing else matters. Not work, not worries, not the world. Just this small family and the quiet joy they share. "I think Henry will love this lake when he grows up," Lytuna says dreamily. Alex nods. "We'll bring him here every summer. He'll learn to fish, to swim, maybe even build little boats." Neither notices the figure standing in the distance, hidden behind an old oak tree. Mai stands beneath that oak tree, her eyes locked on the family by the lake. She watches in silence, fingers gripping her phone until her knuckles turn white. Every sound, Lytuna's laughter, Alex's warm tone, cuts through her like glass. "Why her?" Mai whispers. "Why not me?" She raises her phone, snapping a photo, not as a keepsake, but as evidence, as fuel for her burning determination. The image freezes the moment. Tuna's radiant smile, Alex's gentle gaze, and Henry's tiny hand reaching for his father. To anyone else, it's a picture of happiness. To May, it's a challenge, a reminder of what she doesn't have but will claim. Her heartbeat quickens, rage mixing with pain. Every laugh she hears feels like mockery. Her lips tighten. "I won't lose to her," she mutters, her voice shaking. "He'll see me. He has to." The shadow of the tree stretches long across the grass, cloaking her in darkness as her thoughts sharpen. She glances down at the photo once more, her eyes cold and unwavering. "You'll understand soon, Alex," she murmurs under her breath. She walks away, slow but certain, her mind ablaze with purpose. The laughter of the small family fades behind her, but in her ears, it's replaced by the steady rhythm of her own heartbeat, strong, determined, and unrelenting. For a fleeting second, she feels something stir. Guilt, maybe. A soft ache in her chest. But she pushes it away. "This is what I deserve," she tells herself. "This is the life I'm meant to have." As she disappears down the tree-lined path, the park returns to peace. To everyone else, it's just another sunny afternoon. But for May, it's the start of her quiet war. Later that night, May sits at her small desk, her room dimly lit by the yellow glow of her lamp. The air is thick with tension, a quiet that feels almost alive. In front of her lies her phone, still showing the photo she took earlier. Her eyes linger on it, not with admiration, but calculation. She opens her notebook, flipping to a blank page. Her handwriting is neat, deliberate, as she begins to jot down her plan. Step 1. Visit Alex's mother, often. Step 2. Show up where Alex goes. Let him see me. Remind him I exist. Step 3. Become someone he can't ignore. Each word she writes sharpens her focus, chiseling away any hesitation. "He will see me," she says under her breath. "Only me." She pauses, staring at her own handwriting, the loops and lines firm and confident. It's as if each letter binds her closer to her ambition. She closes the notebook, her fingers lingering on the cover before she stands. "Tuna doesn't deserve him," she murmurs, her tone icy. "She's living the life that should have been mine." The photo on her screen glows faintly, illuminating her determined expression. Her reflection in the glass looks back, calm, beautiful, but with eyes burning with obsession. There's no trace of the girl she used to be, only the woman she's become, hungry, fearless, and ready to cross every line to get what she wants. She turns back toward the desk, her hand tightening into a fist. The image of Alex and Tuna lingers in her mind, fueling her resolve. With one deep breath, she whispers to herself, "It begins now." And as the clock ticks past midnight, the room falls silent again, the calm before a storm only May can feel. The room was silent, the kind of silence that pressed against her skin. The desk lamp cast a dim circle of light over the open notebook, its pages crowded with uneven lines of thought. May sat perfectly still, elbows resting on her knees, fingers interlocked tightly. It was late, far past midnight, but sleep was nowhere near her mind. Her thoughts looped endlessly. Alex, Tuna, and everything she could never seem to escape. It had been a week since she entered his world again. Every day at work, seeing him up close, hearing his calm voice, watching his careful movements, was both a comfort and a torment. He hadn't changed. He was still kind, still composed, still everything she remembered. But now, his words toward her were polite, distant, professional. Nothing more. May exhaled slowly, her whisper barely audible in the stillness. This can't go on. If I stay like this, he'll never really see me again. Her eyes drifted toward the small photo frame on the shelf, a picture of two smiling children holding trophies, their faces glowing with pride. Her and Alex. Back when the world was simple, and his laughter belonged to her without effort. Now, it was all out of reach, unless she took it back. She leaned forward, eyes sharp. I have to find a way in, a way that no one can question. Her gaze hardened. And that begins with Ko Phuong. The name slipped out like a key turning in a lock. Alex's mother, gentle but commanding, warm yet perceptive. The woman who had shaped him, guided him, protected him. Winning her trust wasn't just important, it was essential. Memories came rushing back. Ko Phuong's soft smile, the afternoon spent helping her bake, the way she used to pat May's head and say, "You're such a good girl, always looking out for Alex." Those words used to make her heart soar. Now, they were a map. "She trusted me once," May murmured. "She saw me as part of the family. I'll make her feel that way again, only this time, she'll see me not as a child, but as the woman Alex needs beside him." The thought steadied her pulse. She stood, pacing the room slowly, each step grounding her plan. She values kindness, patience, sincerity. I can be all of those things. I am all of those things. I just have to remind her. May's reflection in the window stared back, calm, composed, unyielding. "This isn't pretending," she whispered. "It's reminding them who I really am." She sat again, pulled the notebook closer, and began to write. The pen scratched quietly over the paper. Step 1. Earn Ko Phuong's trust again. Step 2. Build influence through presence, not words. Step 3. Once trust is established, Alex will begin to see me differently. The list was short, but every line carried weight. She reread it, her lips curving slightly. "He'll see me," she said under her breath. "He won't be able to ignore me anymore." Her voice steadied as if she were practicing the belief out loud. The path was clear, and for the first time in years, she felt in control. Yet somewhere deep inside, another image surfaced. Alex's eyes when he smiled at Lytuna, the softness in his expression, the way his whole face lit up when he mentioned his family. That image cut through her focus like a blade. Her hand froze. The pen trembled between her fingers. "She's just lucky," she muttered. "That's all. She came first. Nothing more." The bitterness in her tone quickly faded into cold calculation. But luck doesn't last forever. Stability doesn't last forever. I'll wait. I'll move slowly. And when the moment comes, I'll already be where I need to be. She placed the pen down, closing the notebook carefully, as if sealing a promise inside. The ticking of the clock filled the silence. Every sound reminded her that time was moving, and she had no intention of wasting another second. Her phone buzzed. A message appeared. "I just saw Alex, Lytuna, and their son Henry. They're outside, grilling food together. They look really happy." May stared at the screen, her body motionless. The light from the phone reflected in her eyes, but there was no emotion on her face, at least not at first. Slowly, her heartbeat quickened. Her mind began painting the scene she didn't want to see, but couldn't stop imagining. Alex standing by the grill, holding the tongs, his sleeves rolled up, laughter bright in the fading daylight. Henry clapping his little hands, cheering when his father lifted him high into the air. Lytuna beside them, brushing hair from her face, her smile radiant. And then, Alex leaning down, pressing a soft kiss to Lytuna's cheek. It was almost nothing, an ordinary moment of affection. But to May, it felt like a knife twisting inside her chest. Her lips parted, but no sound came. The pressure built until it was almost unbearable. Still, she didn't cry. She refused to. "So that's what happiness looks like for you now," she whispered, voice shaking but low. "You have everything you want, don't you?" The silence that followed was deafening. Then something inside her shifted. The ache turned into resolve. The trembling stopped. Her breath steadied. She set the phone down slowly, staring at the screen as if the message itself were a challenge. "Good," she said quietly. "It's good to know what makes you smile, Alex. It helps me understand where to begin." Her voice softened, but her eyes were cold. "You think this life of yours is untouchable, that she's the one who keeps you grounded, but no one's untouchable, and nothing lasts forever." She stood, her reflection darkening in the window. "I don't need to take anything from her. I'll just be there, quietly, patiently. I'll become the kind of presence no one can push away." Her words came out calm, deliberate, almost soothing. "Ko Fuang will be the first to see it. She'll remember who I was. She'll see that I never stopped caring for her son. And when she believes in me again, he will too." The thought gave her a strange sense of peace. No rage, no jealousy, just quiet certainty. May returned to her chair, reopened the notebook, and wrote one final line beneath her list. "I don't need to destroy what they have. I only need to exist in it, until it changes on its own." She stared at the words for a long time. Then she underlined them once, her movements slow and firm. The air in the room felt heavier now, but her chest felt light, as if a weight had been lifted. There was clarity in her mind, and once May had clarity, she was unstoppable. She looked up again, meeting her own eyes in the mirror across the room. What she saw there startled her for a brief moment. A woman calm, beautiful, and utterly certain of what she wanted. "Be happy while you can," she said softly. "Because when the time comes, you'll understand. Happiness was never meant to belong to just one person." Her voice barely rose above a whisper, but it carried through the still air like a vow. The clock ticked once, twice. Midnight. May closed her notebook, turned off the lamp, and sat for a moment in the darkness. The only light left came from the faint glow of her phone, the message still visible on the screen. Alex, Lytuna, Henry, a perfect picture of warmth and laughter. She let out a long, steady breath, and a faint smile crossed her lips, one that was neither sad nor tender, but calm and deliberate. "You won't see it coming," she murmured. "You never do." The room fell silent again, and in that silence, everything seemed already decided. May's path was clear, her heart unwavering. She leaned back in her chair, eyes closing, her mind repeating the single truth she now lived by. Some people wait for fate, others create it, and from that moment on, she knew which one she was. May, a woman driven by unspoken longing, quietly builds a plan to win back Alex, the man she has loved since childhood. After starting work at his company, she becomes determined to regain her place in his life. Her strategy begins with earning the trust of his mother, Ko Fuang, believing that once she's accepted again, Alex will start to see her differently. But everything inside her shifts the day she sees Alex, Lytuna, and their son Henry laughing together at the park. A perfect, happy family. The sight burns into her heart, turning love into obsession and pain into purpose. Alone that night, May makes a vow. She will not stop until Alex's heart belongs to her again, no matter how long it takes, or what lines she must cross to make it happen.